Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News and your daily wrestling newscast for Sunday, June 2nd, 2024. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with AEW Collision broadcast on TNT with matches taped on Thursday from the Acra Shore Arena in Palm Desert, California. In the main event, Will Ospreay pinned Kyle O'Reilly. After the match, AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland appeared on the big screen to talk up his match with Ospreay at Forbidden Door.
No longer the gatekeeper in pro wrestling. You are no longer the bully that can just beat around young Swerve and push him around and do what you want. No, this is a new day. I'm gonna beat that ass now. I'm gonna give you what you want. Me, I'm gonna be the world champion. After I get rid of Roderick Strong, you're gonna see me, Forbidden Door. Whose house? Swerve's house.
In the opening match, Roderick Strong pinned Lio Rush, then demanded a match against Strickland, which he was granted for Dynamite later this week. In other results, Daniel Garcia and Katsuyori Shibata beat the Workhorsemen, Claudio Castagnoli pinned Johnny TV, and Shane Taylor Promotions won over the West Coast Wrecking Crew. WWE came to the Westchester County Center in White Plains, New York last night for a Super Show live event. In the main event, Cody Rhodes retained the undisputed WWE Universal Championship against AJ Styles. The World Heavyweight title was also defended with Damian Priest retaining against Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso in a triple threat. Priest pinned Uso to win the match. 7 of the 8 matches were championship affairs, with the other results including World Women's Champion Liv Morgan defeating Shayna Baszler, The Awesome Truth retaining the World Tag Team title against Finn Balor and JD McDonough, WWE Women's Champion Bayley going over Tiffany Stratton, Women's Tag Team Champions Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill topping Dakota Kai and Kairi Sane, and Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn winning out in a triple threat over Chad Gable and Bronson Reed. In the night's only non-title match, LA Knight defeated Shinsuke Nakamura. Major League Wrestling presented Battle Riot VI last night, streaming live on YouTube from Center Stage Theater in Atlanta. In the main event, Matt Riddle won the 40-man Battle Riot match. The victory earns him a shot at the MLW World Championship held by Satoshi Kojima. Earlier in the show, Kojima successfully defended the title against Filthy Tom Lawler. In other results, Alex Kane beat AJ Francis, and MLW World Featherweight Champion Janai Kai retained against Delmi Exo. And in TNA Wrestling news, the company made several cuts on Friday according to Mike Johnson, including most notably David Sahadi, who had been the creative director of TNA Wrestling and director of TNA Broadcast since 2006. Prior to that, Sahadi, the son of late longtime Wrestling Magazine editor Lou Sahadi, was involved in TV production with WWE going back to the late 1990s. Also included in the cuts was Vice President of Marketing Lou D'Angeli, who had come to TNA from WWE. D'Angeli was also once known as Sign Guy Dudley and Louie Dangerously in ECW. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.